Okay, so you've gone through and practiced a little bit with functions. You've even taken the flyer guy in puzzle number, I believe it was 6 and 7, and you've had him go across the screen and then reappear and then go across the screen again. In puzzle 8 and 9, you started randomizing where he was appearing and the speed that he was going at. Now you're going to write your own function, and all these other ones, the functions were provided for you. So this is a very simple game in which coins fall from the sky and the bunny tries to catch them. All you need to do is write the function that sets up the coin. So I'm just going to start this running because it actually goes fairly slow. Well, actually, no, it doesn't even go fairly slow. It doesn't move at all. So you see here the code that you have set up already for you. You can move the arrow and the bunny will move kind of back and forth on the bottom of the screen. It creates the coin at 210, so right in the middle at 10 kind of down. And then it calls this function set coin. But set coin right now has nothing in it. You have to populate that. Now, this is very similar to the former puzzles that you did with the flyer. Instead of the flyer going across the screen, though, your flyer is this coin that's going to be coming down the screen. And so what you need to do in the set coin is the same thing you did in set flyer. You're going to give it a velocity. You're going to give it an X and a Y. The Y, of course, should always be the same because you want it to reappear at the top of the screen. The X you're going to randomize because you want it to be in a random location somewhere so that the person with the bunny will actually move the bunny back and forth instead of having it come down at the same location every single time. So we need to take this coin and have it come down. So we're in the function set coin. We've got to set the velocity, and we have to set the X, and we have to set the Y. And so the X, of course, is going to be some random location somewhere along the top of the screen. But we don't know about top or bottom when we're talking about X. We're just talking about side to side. And so the location for that is going to be, we go to sprite.x. We're going to make it some random number between 10 and 390. We don't want it to be between 0 and 400 because we don't want the coin to be kind of half off the edge. And so we're going to stick it at 10 and 390. And we'll make this, of course, coin. So then if I rerun the program now, what's going to happen is it's going to go at a different location. It's going to be over here. If I run it again, it'll be somewhere else randomly. So, but now we don't want the coin to just stay at the top. We want it to actually come down. And so in order to set it in motion coming down, we're going to set its velocity. So the Y velocity, meaning we want it to come down because we're going from 0 to 400. We want to increase. And so that's going to be a positive number. And so for the purposes of this program and not having to sit and watch and stare at a slow coin coming down all the time, we're going to set it equal to 5. So when we run our program, it's going to come down at a pretty quick clip. Now, once it gets to the bottom, it reset. You saw that you could see really quickly. It reset the coin because right here, when the Y is greater than 400, we call the set coin. But the problem is I never really set the Y. And so it just kept on going down. And so if we want it to reappear back at the top, then what we need to do is we need to set the Y coordinate for our coin. So we're going to say coin.y. And then we're going to make it, I would say, make it equal to like -20. That way it's going to actually fall onto the screen instead of being halfway down and then coming. Remember, these X and Y coordinates are usually based on the center of your sprite. So if your sprite is 20 big and you set it to 0, then 10 of that 20 is going to be halfway down the screen already. And so let's see how this does with the 20. So it's going to come down. Well, actually, we could have even seen it at the beginning. And then once it gets there, and then you see it's already going a little bit you can see a little bit already once it resets. So we could maybe even do like 30 or maybe even negative 40 in order to really get it to reset. Now, the problem with this game is right now my bunny is only going at a rate of 2, but my coin is going at a rate of 5. And so I may not be able to get to the coin, although the bunny is pretty big. May not be able to get to the coin. And you can see now that, I mean, it's not doing anything. The only thing that's happening is the coin just gets to the bottom and then it resets. Well, that's what the next step is for. So after you get through number 10, in number 11 and 12, that's when we're going to start looking at what happens when the coin actually touches the bunny, and then how is that we're going to add to the score to be able to increase our progress in the game. But for now, lesson 10, hopefully this can give you an idea as to how to write this function to be able to get the coin set and moving so that you can actually play the game.